Welcome, dear listeners, to History with Herodotus, where we embark on a journey through the annals of time, uncovering the secrets and stories that have shaped our world. Today, we find ourselves in the midst of one of the most pivotal moments in European history, the Siege of Vienna. This epic struggle, which would determine the fate of empires and the course of Western civilization, is a tale of courage, diplomacy, and the unyielding human spirit. As we delve into the origins of this monumental event, let us transport ourselves to the early 16th century, a time when the Ottoman Empire, under the wise and ambitious leadership of Suleiman the Magnificent, was expanding its dominions deep into Eastern Europe. The year is 1526, and the Ottoman army, fresh from its victory over the Hungarians at the Battle of Mohacs, is marching relentlessly towards the imperial city of Vienna, the capital of the Habsburg Empire. Imagine yourself standing amidst the rolling hills and verdant valleys of the Hungarian countryside, where the rivers Danube and Tisa converge. The air is crisp, with a hint of autumn's chill, as the leaves turn golden in the fading light of day. It is here, in this picturesque landscape, that the seeds of conflict were sown. The Ottoman Empire, having already conquered much of the Balkans, had set its sights on the fertile plains of Hungary, and the Habsburgs, determined to defend their territories, were preparing for battle. The Battle of Mohacs, fought on August 29, 1526, was a decisive victory for the Ottomans. The Hungarian army, led by King Louis II, was vastly outnumbered and outgunned, and despite their bravery, they were unable to withstand the Ottoman onslaught. The king himself perished in the battle, and his death marked the beginning of a period of turmoil and instability in the region. As the Ottomans continued their march towards Vienna, they encountered fierce resistance from the Habsburg forces, led by Archduke Ferdinand of Austria. The Archduke, a skilled military strategist, had been preparing for this moment for years, fortifying his cities and assembling a large army to resist the Ottoman advance. The stage was set for a clash of titans, as two of the greatest empires of the age faced off in a struggle that would determine the course of European history. The city of Vienna itself was a key factor in the Ottoman decision to launch a siege. Located at the crossroads of Europe, Vienna was a vital trade hub and a strategic military outpost. Control of the city would give the Ottomans access to the Danube River and allow them to project their power deep into the heart of Europe. The city's defenses, however, were formidable, with thick walls and a well-trained garrison. As we explore the origins of the Siege of Vienna, it is essential to consider the complex web of alliances and rivalries that existed between the various European powers. The Habsburgs had formed an alliance with the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, while the Ottomans had allied themselves with the Crimean Khanate. These alliances would play a significant role in the events leading up to the Siege of Vienna, as each side sought to gain the upper hand through diplomacy and military might. The Ottoman Empire's expansion into Eastern Europe was also driven by its desire to spread Islam and to counter the growing influence of the Habsburgs. The Ottomans saw themselves as the defenders of the faith, and their conquests were often justified as a means of spreading the word of Allah. This ideological dimension added a layer of complexity to the conflict, as the two empires clashed not only over territory, but also over competing visions of the world. The stage is set, the players are in position, and the drama is about to unfold. Let us proceed with wonder and curiosity into the heart of this pivotal moment in history, as the armies of East and West clash in a struggle that will shape the course of civilization for centuries to come. Welcome back to History with Herodotus, where we're delving into the epic story of the Siege of Vienna. The city, with its thick walls and well-trained garrison, is a formidable fortress, but the Ottomans are undaunted. They bring with them an arsenal of cannons, including the massive basilica, a gargantuan gun that can fire cannonballs weighing over 500 pounds. The siege begins on September 27, 1529, as the Ottoman army, numbering over 120,000 soldiers, surrounds the city. The defenders, led by Archduke Ferdinand of Austria, are vastly outnumbered, with only around 20,000 troops at their disposal. Despite this, they're determined to hold out against the Ottoman onslaught. As the siege rages on, both sides engage in a series of clever strategies and heroic deeds. The Ottomans attempt to breach the city walls using tunnels and mines, but the defenders are able to counter these efforts by digging counter-tunnels and flooding the Ottoman tunnels. Meanwhile, the defenders launch sorties against the Ottoman army, attempting to disrupt their supply lines and weaken their morale. One of the most notable heroes of the siege is a young German nobleman named Nicholas von Salm. Von Salm, who would later become a legendary figure in Austrian history, plays a crucial role in defending the city walls against the Ottoman attacks. He leads a series of daring sorties against the Ottomans, using his knowledge of the city's defenses to outmaneuver them at every turn. As the siege drags on, the weather begins to turn against the Ottomans. The winter of 1529 to 1530 is particularly harsh, with heavy snowfalls and freezing temperatures. The Ottoman army, which is not equipped for such conditions, begins to suffer from the cold and lack of supplies. Morale starts to sag, and desertions become more frequent. Despite these challenges, Suleiman remains determined to capture Vienna. He launches a series of desperate attacks against the city walls, but each one is repelled by the defenders. The Ottomans suffer heavy losses, including many high-ranking officers, and their army begins to weaken. As the siege enters its final stages, it becomes clear that the Ottomans will not be able to capture Vienna. On October 15, 1529, Suleiman orders his army to retreat, leaving behind much of their equipment and supplies. The defenders, exhausted but triumphant, emerge from the city to survey the aftermath of the siege. The failure to capture Vienna marks a significant turning point in Ottoman history. It's the first major defeat suffered by the empire under Suleiman's leadership, and it sets the stage for future conflicts between the Ottomans and the Habsburgs. The siege also has a profound impact on European politics, as it leads to a strengthening of alliances between the Habsburgs and other Christian powers. As we conclude this segment of our podcast, we find ourselves at a pivotal moment in history, where the fate of empires hangs in the balance. The Siege of Vienna is a testament to the bravery and determination of those who defended the city against overwhelming odds. It's also a reminder that even the greatest empires can fall victim to hubris and overconfidence. Let us proceed with wonder and curiosity into the next chapter of this epic story, as we explore the aftermath of the siege and the consequences it has for the Ottoman Empire and the Habsburgs. The drama is far from over, and the fate of Western civilization remains uncertain. Join us next time on History with Herodotus, as we continue to uncover the secrets and stories that have shaped our world. Welcome back to History with Herodotus, as we delve into the aftermath of the Siege of Vienna and explore the profound consequences it had on the Ottoman Empire and the Habsburgs. The year 1529 marked a significant turning point in history, as the failure to capture Vienna led to a reevaluation of Ottoman military strategy and a strengthening of alliances between the Habsburgs and other Christian powers. In the immediate aftermath of the siege, Suleiman the Magnificent returned to Constantinople, determined to regroup and reassess his military campaign. The Ottoman Empire had suffered significant losses, both in terms of men and equipment, and it would take time to recover from the setback. However, Suleiman was not one to dwell on defeat, and he soon began planning a new campaign against the Habsburgs. The failure to capture Vienna also had significant consequences for the Ottoman Empire's relationships with its European neighbors. The siege had been widely seen as an attempt by the Ottomans to expand their empire into Central Europe, and the failure to achieve this goal led to a loss of prestige and influence for Suleiman. The Ottoman Empire's traditional enemies, including the Holy Roman Empire and the Kingdom of Hungary, began to see the Ottomans as vulnerable, and they started to push back against Ottoman expansion. One of the most significant consequences of the siege was the strengthening of alliances between the Habsburgs and other Christian powers. The Habsburgs had long been seen as the leaders of the Christian resistance against the Ottoman Empire, and their victory at Vienna cemented their position as the dominant power in Central Europe. The Holy Roman Emperor, Charles V, began to build a coalition of Christian states to counter the Ottoman threat, and the Habsburgs became the linchpin of this alliance. As the years passed, the Ottoman Empire continued to face challenges from its European neighbors. The Habsburgs, led by Charles V and his brother Ferdinand, launched a series of campaigns against the Ottomans, pushing them back in Hungary and Croatia. The Ottomans also faced challenges from the rising power of the Safavid Empire in Persia, which threatened their eastern borders. Despite these challenges, the Ottoman Empire remained a major power in Europe for centuries to come. However, the failure to capture Vienna marked a significant turning point in their history, as they began to shift their focus away from expansion in Central Europe and towards consolidation of their existing territories. As we look back on this pivotal moment in history, it is clear that the Siege of Vienna was a testament to the bravery and determination of those who defended the city against overwhelming odds. It also serves as a reminder that even the greatest empires can fall victim to hubris and overconfidence. As the great historian Edward Gibbon once wrote, "The winds and waves are always on the side of the ablest navigators." The Habsburgs had proven themselves to be skilled navigators of the complex web of alliances and rivalries that characterized 16th century Europe, and their victory at Vienna would have far-reaching consequences for the course of European history. Join us next time on History with Herodotus, as we explore more epic stories from the annals of history. From the rise of the Safavid Empire in Persia to the conquests of the Spanish Empire in the New World, there are countless tales of adventure, bravery, and drama waiting to be uncovered. Until then, farewell, and may the winds of history always be at your back. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember that to understand the present, we must first understand the past.